The Mahasangha says that they are dissatisfied with the program being implemented by leaders in the opposition. Meanwhile, the JVP says that they are the only contemporary party which has taken to the streets in the face of the burning issues faced by the people and acted upon the responsibilities of a political party.
We cannot be satisfied with the actions of the opposition and the important leaders of the opposition in this country today. At the same time, we are unhappy with the procedures being followed by the opposition, because through these forces known as the common opposition, they are strategically making statements that will create a conflict between communities and are deceiving the people in an attempt to reintroduce imperialism. They have included the JVP in this spineless opposition, but when speaking of this opposition, the only struggles that are shown are those of the JVP. The heads at Sirasa are fully aware that it is us who have taken to the streets for every conflict in the country and have continuously been with the working class. We are building a public center where the clergy can come and where the working class can unite. We are building a strong people's campaign which can topple any wrong social system in the country, not only the administration.
Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca met with the Commissioner of Elections today to inquire about registering the Democratic Party.
The meeting between Sarath Fonseca and the Commissioner of Elections took place at the Election Secretariat in Rajagiriya. We have taken all steps needed to register this party. Even the Human Rights Commission has said that our documentation is sound. All that is left is for the Elections Commissioner to give his decision in a manner which protects the democracy of the country. I believe he would register the party. A large number of voters are awaiting this decision in order to carry out their political activities with this party.
Yet another episode of the Satana political program was aired on our sister channel Sirasa TV yesterday. The topic of discussion at yesterday's debate was whether provincial councils are able to meet their expectations.
The Constitution clearly highlights the subjects which come under the purview of the provincial councils. Based on the constitutional provisions, ministers can be appointed for subjects like rural development and health. Ministers can vest this responsibility to provincial ministers. In accordance with the 2013 budget, a large amount of money has been allocated for provincial councils. However, the same subjects are being discussed through the Divinaguma Act as well. Various problems that crop up under various factors are discussed. That is a different matter. But I think that in the recent past, the Divinaguma Act was critically discussed by the people and political parties. But we will carry out our duties within the Provincial Council to the best of our abilities. This is an indirect tax. According to this, 2,000 rupees should be paid for a class between 11 to 50 students, while 3,000 rupees should be paid for a class between 51 to 101 students. Classes with a student population of over 101 should pay a sum of 5,000 rupees. Additionally, you have to obtain a license at a cost of 1,000 rupees and register these tuition classes. This system commenced from the Northwestern province, but this is to be implemented in other provinces as well during the course of next week. Hence, this tuition license fee will become a tax burden on all the people in the country. Minister Angage, is there a risk of such a bill being tabled in the Western Provincial Council? Such a bill has not been discussed in our cabinet as yet. I do not think it is a major injustice to obtain a registration fee from institutions like that. There may be various views regarding the financial value, but I don't see it as a major injustice.
නමුත් ඒක ඉතා විශාල සාපරාධී ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට නම් මට දකින්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
Speaking at a rally held in Polonnaruwa yesterday, JVP Politburo member Anura Kumara Dissanayake commented on a recent statement made by Minister Maithripala Sirisena.
The author of everything that Maithripala Sirisena talked about is anonymous. There is no author. Who is the conspirator? Who is trying to assassinate his character? Maithripala Sirisena is not talking about the JVP or any other opposition political party. Who is he talking about? He is speaking of the powerful people in the government. The administration has been moving towards a massive undemocratic position.
The Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society convened a media briefing in Colombo today to create awareness on the proposed construction of a statue of Babasaheb Ambedkar. The president of the Mahabodhi Society of Sri Lanka, Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thera, addressing the media briefing, said that the construction of the statue portrays the strong relations between India and Sri Lanka on Buddhist cultural affairs.
So I came here just to request our Sri Lankan Buddhist people and the government also to support installing the statue of Dr. Ambedkar that will bring both countries' people together. And Venerable Banagala Upatissa, he agreed that the statue will be erected in Mahabodhi Society's headquarters in Colombo very quickly, without delay.
Traffic along the Alahara-Bakamuna road was disrupted as a result of a demonstration opposite the Bakamuna Divisional Secretariat.
510 families from the 505 Nikapitiya settlement in the Polonnaruwa Alahara scheme staged this demonstration in protest over the failure of authorities to pay them drought relief. The demonstrators who arrived opposite the Bakamuna bus stop demanded that they be compensated for the services they rendered during the drought. These farmers say that they laboured on several tasks, including the clearing of dense jungle near electric fences, clearing up the Ketala and clearing up the main waterway in the Polonnaruwa Alahara scheme. The demonstrators say that the authorities who promised them to provide 500 rupees a day should pay them 1.8 million rupees in total. It has been 5 months now, but since we did not receive our wages, we held discussions with the Divisional Secretary of Alahara at his residence. But because we did not receive any response, we decided to stage a peaceful demonstration in the Bakamuna town today. The demonstrators who marched from the Bakamuna bus stop to the Bakamuna Divisional Secretariat staged a sit-down protest opposite the DS office. Subsequently, the police intervened and directed several demonstrators to the Divisional Secretary of Alahara. I can promise you anything, but I am not giving you a time frame because I need to speak the truth. Otherwise, I could tell you that it will be given by next Friday and turn you away. Until the money from the government actually comes here, I cannot tell you when you will be paid. But the money will definitely be allocated. Once the money is allocated, I cannot promise you a time frame in which it will be distributed among you. It won't take long. We should be able to complete it within this month. There is no point in arguing here. The request for funds from the government has been approved, so it will be allocated. We may suddenly pay you the 1.8 million that is due.
You're watching Primetime News live here on News First. Up next is Action TV.
When examining a complaint filed by a group of residents of the Ridimali at the Divisional Secretariat area with the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission regarding problems they are facing from a quarry in the area, the Central Environmental Authority uncovered that there are 9 unlicensed quarries operating in the area. This quarry, located in Aravatta, Ridimali, not far from the Mahiyangane Padiyatalawa road, is one of these unlicensed quarries.
We cannot eat anything from the garden because of the dust from the quarry. We have taken this matter to the highest level, including the Presidential Secretariat, but we are yet to receive any response.
The Divisional Secretary of Ridimali, who visited this unlicensed quarry on the 7th of December last year, took the responsibility of notifying the owners of the quarry that they operate in a legal manner which would not inconvenience the public.
The minister and the MP are friendly with me and I can get this done through them, but I don't want to do that. Therefore, all I have to say is to stop this and get a permit first.
Disregarding the divisional secretary's intervention, this quarry continues to operate without a license even today. What reasons belie the failure to enforce the law, in this case taking into consideration the inconveniences faced by the people? Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Uva province, this one is over to you.
Here is a report compiled by News First U reporter Ganeshan Krishantan from the Kottagalapatana area in Nuwara.
This is the unguarded railway crossing located in the Kottagal area in Nuwara that is the cause for several accidents. Therefore, the area residents and motorists are requesting for a railway gate to be provided for this railway crossing. Ganeshan Krishantan for News First U report.
News First U reporter Ganeshan Krishantan.
Several locations where Sri Lankans travel abroad illegally. A risk of intellectuals leaving the country. Constant reports of groups of Sri Lankans illegally migrating to Australia. Over 1,000 illegal Sri Lankan migrants deported to Sri Lanka in the past 6 months. The most recent incident occurred yesterday. Suspects who were attempting to illegally migrate arrested in Puttalam and remanded. Why is it that authorities are as yet unable to see the need for a proper mechanism to prevent these incidents?
The West Indies women's cricket team clinched a 2-wicket victory over their Sri Lankan counterparts in the first 2020 encounter today. Sri Lankan skipper Sashikala Siriwardena said that a weak batting performance by her side was the reason for the defeat.
The 5-match 2020 series commenced at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo today. The Sri Lankan women, who won the toss and opted to bat first, struggled with the willow, losing their first 5 wickets for 39 runs. The top scorer for the Lankans was Ishani Lokosuria, who made 25 runs. Shakira Salman bagged 2 wickets for 14 runs for the Windies. The Sri Lankan women posted a paltry 87 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. In reply, the visitors lost 8 wickets on the way to a nail-biting victory off the last ball of the match. West Indies skipper Melissa Aguilera scored 34. Ishani Lokosuria dismissed 3 wickets for 18 runs for the Sri Lankan women.
The first 5 players in the batting lineup were unable to make their contributions, which is why we had to settle for a low score. However, we came back strongly with our bowling and fielding, so we were able to take the game to the 20th over. Once again, we made a lot of mistakes when batting. If we don't rectify these mistakes, it will be hard to play against a team like this.
The 79th Battle of the Saints between St. Peter's College and St. Joseph's College, Colombo commenced at the Pisara Oval in Colombo today. St. Joseph's College were 180 for 2 in their first innings at stumps.
St. Joseph's College, who won the toss, invited St. Peter's College to take first lease of the wicket. Janit Lianage scored 64 for the Peterites. Krishan Fernando scored 42. Arvind Aturage clinched 3 wickets for 45 runs, while Sachin Hevavasam ended with figures of 2 for 35 for the Josephians. The Peterites declared their innings on a score of 236 for 9. In reply, Sadhir Samaravikrama scored an unbeaten 105 for the Josephians. Dylan Fernando Bulle chipped in with 45 runs.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of your Primetime News Bulletin. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. Have a great weekend ahead. Good night.